And just like that, in what seemed to be a blink of an eye, Sim Racing Expo for 2023 was done. Now, this is my third Sim Racing Expo. The first one I went to was at the Nürburgring, and of course, because it's the Nürburgring, that was really special. The second one for 2022 was in Nuremberg, and this one, of course, was in Dortmund. And the 2023 Expo was the best Expo I've ever been to, but also the worst. Now, if you've never ever been to one of the Sim Racing Expos, I highly, highly recommend that you do. If you are a sim racing fan, well, this is going to be sensory overload. There's just so much to look at and take in. It's absolutely incredible. The location for the 2023 Expo was at the Dortmund Messe, and the venue is absolutely huge. The facilities were far better than the expos that I've been to in previous years. There was things that's really important to you as a visitor. There's lots of toilets, lots of places where you could get some food and drink, somewhere to sit down. The transport links to and from the expo were fantastic. So for me, this is the best location that I've been to, although I was a little bit disappointed that there weren't more exhibitors. Now, a lot of the big hitters weren't here. Simicube, Heusingveld, SimLab, there was no Moser stand, there was no Simagic stand. All of these are big players in the sim racing industry, and this might be the only time we get to try their equipment. And the best way for us to know what we want or what we don't want is to try all the equipment back to back. Now, there was no shortage of simulators to try equipment on. I think there was about 110, 115 simulators. And on the Saturday, it was really busy. There was at least 10 people waiting per simulator. So at any one time, there was over 1,000 people waiting just to get in the rig and drive. And there was certainly plenty there to keep people interested. I would have just liked those other big manufacturers to show up. Now, I know it's expensive. It costs them quite a lot of money to have a booth at the expo. But sim racing is like one big family, and it just didn't seem right that they weren't there. Now, I didn't really get to try out much. I sat in one rig and I drove with the Bavarian SimTech steering wheel. And trying the equipment wasn't the purpose of the trip. The purpose of the trip for me was to link in with like-minded people, fellow sim racers. And I've got to tell you, I had the best time ever. I spoke to so many people. I can't thank the people enough that came up and said, "Hello Dave, how are you doing?" I absolutely loved it. And that's what made this trip super special. Yes, I had to drive for 23 hours to get there and back, over 1,200 miles across 5 countries. But spending time at the expo, spending time with like-minded people made it all worth it. So I've already booked my accommodation for the Sim Racing Expo 2024, which is again in Dortmund. Trust me, if you're a sim racer and you go to the expo, you will have the time of your life. Now, I've got to say thank you to all of the exhibitors that did turn up. All absolutely fantastic. All getting together to put on this show. And thank you to the Sim Racing Expo. This must have taken so much planning. Well, I know for a fact it did. And the show that they put on for us was absolutely incredible. So hopefully I will see you in Dortmund in 2024.